In the previous lesson, we had a look at client-side validation, and we discussed why relying on it poses a security risk. In this video, we'll cover server-side validation. First, we'll create a generic validation class, and then we'll see how we can improve on that. Now, instead of just dumping the post variables to the screen, let's do something else entirely. Let's just require a new file that we'll be creating in a minute, which would be called validation.php. New file, like so, validation.php. Now, inside of this file, we'll be creating a very rude class. It will be called validation, and it will contain a method called validate. Now let's make sure we pass in some data, and we should also pass in some rules. Now this is going to be a very quick and dirty validation class, not at all like the classes you would see in frameworks and such, but okay, it's for demonstration purposes anyway. So here we go. We'll just add two validation methods. One will be called email. It will take a value, and it will take a field name, like so. Let's just copy this out and make sure we pass it to the second method as well. And that will be a required method. Now these two functions will be called from the function validate. Let's just add public statements to that. All right, there you go. And we could also do with a public variable called errors. That would be an array, and we'll use that to store any validation errors in. Okay, back to our form file. What we need to do here is set a variable called rules, and that would hold an array. Then we'll do validation, and we'll set that to a new instance of the validation class. And then we need to do a conditional. You see, we need to check if validation validate returns true. And if it does, normally we would log in the user here, but let's for now just dump the post values to the screen, like so. Now, if it doesn't validate, we need to do something else. Tell you what, let's display the errors here. We'll just open up an unordered list, copy that, make sure we close it out again, and inside we'll loop through any errors. Now, as you will recall, the errors were stored in validation errors, and we'll just loop through that as error. And for every error that we come across, we will echo it and make sure we wrap it into a list item, like so. So that would be error like so. Now let's make sure we define some rules. We will need the email field, and that will take some rules. And then we'll also need the password field, and that will also take some rules. Now we're going to be using a syntax that is very common in framework world, which is the rules separated by a pipe. For the email field, we would need to validate if it's a valid email address, and then it would also be required. And for the password, we'd just use required. Now, the reason this is called server-side validation is because we're working with the data that is sent to the server directly, in this case, the post data. Great, so that means that we should take the post data and pass that to the validate method, like so. Okay, let's set up validation. Now, how would we validate a required field? It would be valid if it's not empty. So, let's set a variable called valid and make it equal to not empty, and pass in the value. And then we can simply return that variable. Now, it would also be nice to set some kind of an error message. So what we will do is we'll say if valid equals false, then we'll just add an error to the error array. And in this case, that could be something like the field name is required, like so. So in retrospect, we're validating. If it's not valid, we're setting an error message, and then we return whether or not the actual value was indeed valid. Now let's copy this inside of our email function. And of course, the validation method should be different. We'll just use filter var for that. This is just a native PHP function. We'll pass in the value, and as the second value, it must take a constant telling this function which filter to apply. And in this case, we'll need filter underscore validate email. Now, if this value is indeed a valid email, then this function will return true. If not, it will return false. So if it's false, we need to set a slightly different error message. Needs to be a valid email, something like that. So now that we have our validation methods in place, let's make sure we call them from within the validate method. We'll start by saying valid equals true. And then we'll end by returning it like so. Now here we'll be doing a lot of looping, so I'll just drag that over here so we can reference what we have here. First of all, we would like to loop through every field. So let's start with that. For each rules, as field name equals rule. And the first thing we need to do is extract the rules to callback methods. And then what we need to do is call the validation callback methods here. Well, the rules are separated by a pipe, as we saw here, so we'll just do explode. We'll use the pipe as a delimiter, and we'll make sure we use rule here. And basically that will just take this string and make sure that it's an array with 2 indexes, 1 email and 1 required. Let's store that in a variable called callbacks. So now that we have all callback functions for this field name, let's loop through those callbacks as well. For each callbacks as callback, and then we need to call that callback method. So we'll just do this callback, and we need to make sure we pass in a value and a field name for that callback. I will make sure we have a value in a minute. Now each of these callbacks will return either true or false, so what we could do is wrap that into a conditional and say that if the callback method equals false, then we'll just set valid to false. And remember, we are returning valid as a result of this method here. Okay, now I think that all that's left to be done is to set the value of this variable here. So we'll just do value equals, and as you remember, we were expecting an array here. So we'll just do value equals, and then we'll just run an isSet. If the data field name actually is set, then that's what we'll be using to set the value variable with. And if not, we'll just set it to null because it doesn't exist. Now we're almost ready to see if this works, but first let's add noValidate to the form tag here, because we don't want to be bothered with HTML form validation. Okay, here we go. Let's just try and log in without any data whatsoever. And there you have it. There's all of our validation errors. So if I just enter a valid email here, I would have a validation error of the password as required. Now let's see what happens if I try to post this form from a different location, just like before. We'll just send that. And there you have it. The post data is not validated. And in normal life, that would mean that we would abort the login sequence. You see, because it is server-side validation, it's all still in place and working. But this is all still very generic, and I think we could improve upon this quite a bit. So let's try and do that in the next video. I'll see you there.